And make sure the phone is off here. All sounds. There we go. Ah, there it is. I can tech. Hold on. We're exploring the backyard to confirm that sound of water is not a busted pipe in my yard. The joys of wintertime. Shh. Please stop. Please stop. Okay. I don't even hear it anymore at all. I think the fear of busting a pipe in the wintertime has me all kinds of paranoid. I swear I keep hearing water just dumping from somewhere, and then I come outside and there's no water anywhere. I don't know what's going on. But at least I know my pipes aren't broken. So there's that. All right. We will settle in for Bhakti Bites here in just a sec. Hold on, guys. Hold on, I get locked in there. Okay. Good morning, my friends. The grass is like an ice skating rink, just a really rough one this morning. How are you guys faring through the moon? Oh, lordy, lordy. I did not stretch when I woke up. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bhakti Bites. Bhakti Bites are our little sessions of self-care. Bhakti means devotion. Devotion to what? Devotion to self-care. Sorry, friend, I don't go live with people I don't know. We're here doing a class, so you can feel free to message me about going live another time, or join in the mudra. Hey, Miss Howard. Good morning. That's my surprise every morning. Wake up, look in the mirror. Oh shit! I'm not. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Welcome. Good morning, everybody. My name is Deborah. I am a movement facilitator. I'm many, many, many things. But a movement facilitator was the best way to describe all the hats. So these are our Bhakti Bites classes. Bhakti means devotion, and it's devotion to self-care. These are our devotion to self-care classes, because sometimes self-care is one of those things that falls to the wayside first. When life keeps going around us, we go, nah, self-care is the first thing to fall away. So it helps me, and I know that there's plenty of you guys who enjoy these classes too, that we get together. Yes, we get together, and practice a tool for mindfulness and sit in a brief meditation. These classes usually are about 20 minutes, give or take, depending on whether I get lost in chatting or get lost in the meditation itself. But the focus is to experience the effects of the particular tool, mindfulness tool that we are practicing. So for the last number of weeks, we have been practicing mudras. And Nat, yes, definitely drink water, please. There's a funny story about my coffee. I made coffee this morning and thought I would be a really cute little hippie chick and put this like beet latte powder stuff in my coffee. It said it was fine to do. And I warmed it up and I mixed it all in there. And I think I put too much because it tastes like sweet beets. I'm drinking sweet beets. It's not quite as satisfying as the bite of coffee, but it's not bad. It's warm. That I will take. Good morning, Ryan. How are you? Moon water this morning. Yes! Did you guys put your water under the moon last night? Note that if you did not put your water under the moon last night, you can still do it tonight. The effects of the moon, when it's a new moon or a new moon or a full moon, there's the word. The The effects last for about 3 days before and 3 days after. You want to make sure that your water goes under the moon either the day of or a couple of days after or right before it switches. You don't really want to do it on those first 2 upcoming days. Hey, only love. But you can still do it tonight if you want to. Big kicker is to make sure you bring it in before the sun comes up, because it kind of neutralizes that whole moon glow you get in your water. You can bathe with your water. You can do ceremony with your water. You can drink your water. It's recommended that you use distilled water or well water, which is what we got here. If you're going to do that, put your crystals out and whatnot, and same thing, just bring them all in. And honestly, if you forget and the sun comes up, you probably just cleared your crystals, and that's really nice. And the water's really nice too. It's not going to be like, oh my God, I missed getting them out of the sunshine and now they're destroyed and ruined. No, they're fine. Hey, Corey. Good morning. I was so excited thinking I got a freaking message from you this morning. I was like, oh, cute. This whole little, the thing you were talking about the other day about the type of thing. And it wasn't. It was a faker. Mike, what language or religion are the words you use to describe what you do? What an interesting question. At least beats are good. At least beats are good. Yes, they are, Nat. I don't know how to answer that, Mike. Yes, the crystals are stronger than we are. They have so much more time. Yeah. And they always appreciate, being left out in the sun. There are, or in the moon, there are some crystals that really don't do well being left out in the sun. So be mindful if you leave your crystals, all your crystals on like a windowsill or something. You can actually weaken them or kind of like drain them. That's the word I'm looking for. You can drain them. Okay. Hi, Joy. Good morning. Everybody say hello to Perth. Perth has found his spot on my lap for meditation. And he'll probably try to drink my beet water, caffeinated beet water. But my friends, we are here. Good morning, Nikki. We are here for meditation. We are here for practicing a mudra. So if you were at the moon event yesterday that we did, then you saw this mudra. We're going to practice this mudra all week long. If you were not at the moon event, I am going to be getting it uploaded to the YouTube channel. That's Move with Change on YouTube, at Move with Change on YouTube. That way you guys can see it and get some of these tools and learn what this moon means for you. This is a really, really, really powerful moon. I know that so many of them are, but this one is really particular because it's assisting us in radical honesty with ourselves. It's asking us to take real, genuine stock, almost from a cold standpoint too, like just, look at your choices, whether you're being honest with yourself, your communication, your relationships, your relationship to self, your relationship to other, your relationship to career and money and life and all these things. It's a very clarifying energy. It's a very clarifying moon. So this mudra is going to really, really help with that. Gemini is all about communication. Gemini is associated with the throat chakra. So radical honesty. Ooh, Nat, right in the middle of divorce where you're finally standing up for your needs. That is something that a lot of us are experiencing. I promise we'll do our meditation here, but this moon is really, really powerful. A lot of us are experiencing major, major upheaval in our lives, whether it be in our relationships at home or our relationships at work or our friend circles or our relationship to our religion or our beliefs and our values. There are some very deep things being dug up and brought to the surface and being asked to look at. And honestly, courage. We need the courage right now to look at these things honestly, to stop fooling ourselves, to stop lying to ourselves, and to stop letting other people take advantage of that, of our lack of boundaries. Gemini is also very much about boundaries and about being wise about them, knowing where to put them and knowing where to hold them. It's one of the things that Gemini can struggle with because Gemini can see all these different perspectives, right? With the twins, they see the whole different sides of a story. So they tend to go, well, okay, I can see your side, so I'll forgive you, or I'll let go of my boundary, or I'll make an excuse for you, for myself or for somebody else, right? So this moon is asking us to step into that the confident side of Gemini, of being able to look at ourselves matter-of-factly and say, this isn't working for me anymore. And I need to be honest with myself about that. And I need to take the right action, the steps in that direction. Thank you, Nikki, to clear this out of my life, right? And we talk about the difference between judgment and discernment. Just because something is not for you does not mean you have to judge it or hate it or the person who's doing it, right? Or yourself. It's about discernment. It's about, without judgment, being able to see what doesn't serve us anymore and just let go because that emotional attachment that comes with judgment is still attachment and creates suffering. Thank you, Corey. So if we can try to remove that, and I know this is really, it's difficult and confusing if it's not your standard cold, hard look at the world. But it's possible. And I'm proud of you guys for getting through the moon. This has been crazy. So if you have these things coming up, if you have these things that are being shown to you, take stock. It's pretty much where you're feeling frustration is usually the red flag or the check engine light that says frustration is happening here. It means something is ready to be cleared. It's not the universe attacking you. It's not the moon attacking you. It's not you being a victim of anything. It is this spot that's having a little alarm go off. Is time to, thank you for the llama. It's time to clear that away. And you just, yeah. So anyway, okay, guys, let's sit for this meditation with this mudra. Thank you so much, Nikki. Hi, kitty cat. Are you ready for the mudra? Are you ready? Are you going to be in my way? So, we are going to do the Vishuda Mudra. The Vishuda Mudra is, Vishuda is the name for the throat chakra and actually translates to purified or purification or pure. So the Vishuda Mudra is done really, it's pretty simple, but if you don't have the dexterity for it, just get as close as you can to it. That's the important part. These energies, mudras work by redirecting the energy channels in the body. So if you get as close as you can, you're still going to feel those effects. Okay. So don't worry about perfection. It's just about intention and attention, right? These are the most important parts of any mindfulness practice. What is your intention and where is your attention? So we're going to practice this mudra, again, called the Vishuda Mudra. And we're going to do it like this. You're going to interlace your fingers, kind of put them palms facing out. Interlace the tips of your fingers. Bring those in, curl your hands in, and then I want you to connect your pointer and your thumb on each hand to make a little interlocking circles, 2 interlocking circles, okay? And so this is depending on your dexterity. You can do it for the tips of your fingers and have it out like this. If you can get in closer and have it like this, that works as well. So again, you interlock your fingers, hands back to back, interlock your fingers, pull them in together and make your 2 joining circles, overlapping circles. This is called the Vishuda Mudra. It improves communication. It relieves tension in the neck. It relieves tension in your thoracic outlet, shoulders, and shoulder blades area. This whole area is balanced by the Vishuda Mudra. It also works on that's my coffee, that's my beet coffee, do not drink that. It also works on the thyroid. So if you have thyroid issues, this will help balance it as well. And when we meditate with this mudra, we meditate with it right here. It doesn't matter left or right thumb on top, Billy. Great question, though. Thank you. It doesn't matter. It's kind of whatever's comfortable for you. So if you can't get that this way or that way, either one works. Okay. And we hold this mudra at our throat. So this is one that you can sit in meditation with, right? And just use it to clear out your throat. But if you're in, again, acute, if you're in a situation where you're trying to communicate with somebody and it's not going well, if you're in a situation where you're struggling to hear what somebody else is saying, this also increases your receptivity to their communication. It increases your ability to communicate. It soothes the voice in case you've got like a sore throat and stuff like that. It also works for that. Okay, so grab your mudra, go ahead and hold it at your throat, and then we are going to take 3 deep breaths to fully arrive for our practice, and hopefully none of these cats will drink my beet coffee thing. All right, we'll try that. Okay. All right, grab your mudra. Interlock those, there we go. Interlock those fingers. Hold those interlocking fingers right there at your throat. Go ahead and gently close your eyes. And if you can't close your eyes and meditate with us, just stick with us and catch the vibe. Go ahead and take a deep breath in, pulling the breath in through the nose, through the lungs, and down into the belly. And sigh it out. Inhale again, lifting the heart and elongating the spine. Sigh it out. Inhale once more, expanding the ribcage in all directions, front, sides, and back. And let it go with a sigh. Holding your mudra still here at your throat, follow your inhale all the way to the top and follow your exhale all the way to the bottom. Now, as you do that, I invite you to tighten the muscles in your throat ever so slightly to create what is called Ujjayi breath or ocean breath. It creates kind of a gentle snoring sound or the sound of ocean waves, so that you can hear the breath moving through your throat and into your lungs, making an audible sound for your breath. So seal your lips, inhale, exhale, only through the nose, tightening your throat just a tiny bit so that you can hear the breath. And our intention here is just to follow the breath. So follow the breath all the way to the top, and follow the breath all the way to the bottom. And if your mind monkeys are busy today trying to distract you, simply bring your attention back to your breath. If your phone buzzes or someone calls your name and it's not an emergency, just return your attention back to your breath. If your body tries to wiggle and tell you that there's stuff you got to do, simply return to your breath. We practice mindfulness by bringing our attention back to our intention over and over and over again. And just focus your attention, holding it on the breath, inhaling, exhaling, noticing the sensation in your throat, in your thoracic outlet, in your shoulders. Inhaling to lift your heart and exhaling to melt your shoulder blades down your back. Feel any tension in your neck relaxing. And just stay with your practice. Sometimes in the process of clearing, you may find the need to swallow increases. Please feel free to follow that. If you need to cough, if you need to sneeze, if you need to clear your throat, that is this mudra working for you. So go ahead and follow those impulses, just holding your attention on your throat, on your breath. Letting all the tension melt away with each exhale. You can stay here if you'd like. Otherwise, I invite you to take this just one step further. As you listen to that Ujjayi breath, those gentle ocean waves, I invite you to imagine that a blue light is glowing within your throat. Just notice, as soon as you tell yourself there's a blue light there in my throat, notice what comes up. Do you get a visual? Is it bright? Is it big? Is it small? Is it hard? Is it tight? Do you feel tension in your throat? Do you feel a sound? Any sensation that comes up when you bring your attention to the blue light in your throat, notice the quality of that. And now, inhaling your next inhale. With your next exhale, imagine that blue light expanding, softening, relaxing the muscles in your throat, soothing your shoulders and your low back, opening up your throat, clearing the way for your honesty, for your voice, for communication, for creativity, for expression, for understanding. And just allow that blue light to expand. Continue expanding to wherever feels comfortable to you. If you want to expand this to a massive blue light all around you, great. If you want to make it a big blue light that's just shining from your throat, fantastic. If you feel like your light is really, really, really big and it makes you feel uncomfortable, bring it in a little bit. That's okay too. Find what feels comfortable to you holding this mudra here, and we'll take a couple more breaths before we close our meditation. You can stay here as long as you would like. When you feel complete, I invite you to take a big, deep breath in, filling your lungs all the way to the top, and hold. Take a little more breath in, and release with a big sigh. And gently release your mudra, and either bring your hands to prayer or simply lay one over the other over your heart in gratitude for today's practice. In gratitude for this magnificent meat bag in which we reside, this place that protects our soul, keeps us safe in this life. In gratitude for divine guidance that is always leading us to our highest purpose in every moment. And to offer yourself a little gratitude for taking the time for self-care today. Thank you so much for joining me. As you come out of meditation, please do so slowly. Offer yourself some wiggles, some stretches. Only opening your eyes when you're really ready to come back to the world. Holy shit, everything is really blue. FYI, totally normal if you go from a meditation, especially where you're doing visualization with the chakras, and you open your eyes and you see that color everywhere else. It's totally normal. Your eyes will adjust, I promise. Hey, Frankie. Oh, thank you guys so much. So if you are just joining us, hello. My name is Deborah. I am a movement facilitator, and we are working with the throat chakra right now because of the full moon in Gemini. Gemini is associated with the throat chakra. The throat chakra is about communication and honesty, as well as receptivity to other people's communication and being able to hear what somebody has to say without judgment and without dishonesty. So the mudra, the Vishuda Mudra, is done like so, placing your hands back to back, interlacing your fingers, closing them up, and then with your fingers, with your pointer finger and your thumb, you create interlocking circles. Those interlocking circles go right to your throat. And you hold it here. And again, you can sit in meditation just to help kind of open up your throat chakra, balance your throat chakra. Remember that a very closed throat chakra is similar to a very open throat chakra. So you don't want your chakras like massively blazed open, screaming at the world, right? That's not very balanced for anybody. Thank you, Nikki. Yes, Frankie, I will. And same thing if it's too closed, right? Either way actually prevents the reception of energy, whether closed or way too open. While the open is giving a ton of energy, you're communicating a bunch, talking a bunch, but you're sure not hearing much, right? So we want to balance them. We want to find a comfortable place to be. So again, Nat, I'm so grateful. Good morning, Audie. Okay, so the Vishuda Mudra, the throat chakra mudra, is done like so. Place your hands back to back. Interlace your fingers. It doesn't matter which one's on top or the other. Just do what's comfortable for you. Drop them down. Curl them over so you close your hands. And then with your finger and your thumb, your pointer finger and your thumb, you create 2 interlocking circles. Again, doesn't matter which one's on top. It's just whatever is available to you. If you don't have the dexterity for this, you can pull out a little bit and do it with the tips of your fingers and bring your hands in like that. It creates some more room. That's fine too. Again, mudras work by redirecting the energy channels in the body. So if you can't get it perfect, just get it as close as you can and it will assist in those channel redirections. Nat, you find mindfulness and connection with your body very difficult, but that wasn't too much. Oh, good. Yeah, I really, really like, this is why we do Bhakti Bites. They're little bite-sized sessions of self-care. They're really simple techniques, and these are techniques you can take anywhere, right? We've been talking about that. Hey, Eric, good morning. Audie, that's so cool that you've already been doing that one, right? So we've been I was just saying earlier that in an acute situation, if you have something that you need to say in a situation and you're struggling to say it, I know that we've all experienced that, right? Like you want to say something, but there's literally a knot in your throat preventing you from speaking the words. Or the words are like right there in the back of your mouth and you can't get them out because you just keep chewing on them. Like you're so afraid to say something, right? Or you're just afraid to say something, or you're just struggling to communicate, or you're having trouble, your throat is sore, or your voice doesn't feel confident and clear, right? Any of these things. This mudra is going to assist you in clearing that up. And on the same side of that, or the opposite side of that coin, right? If somebody is trying to communicate with you and you're struggling to understand what they're saying, try putting this mudra up as well. Because this mudra also increases your receptivity, not just your ability to project, but your ability to receive as well. Yeah, Audie, when you think the words but can't form them. Man, that happens to me sometimes. I'm lucky to have my son around, actually, and I told him, for a while there, I was getting frustrated with him because I struggle. I had some really, well, we don't need to tell the story. Some shit happened. My brain shut down, and I had a couple of seizures. Or a stroke. I had a tiny little stroke a couple years ago. So my brain stopped working the same way. And words that used to be available, I love words. I love language. I love semantics. I play a dictionary game. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. So for me to look at the tire over there and not to be able to say tire is immensely frustrating. There's so many things about communication that are extremely, extremely, extremely important to me. It's the foundation of the way that I operate in my life. It's like it would probably be one of the 4 pillars of like who I am is communication focused. So it's been really difficult for me to process that. And when my son would offer me the word at first I was getting mad, right? I was getting upset with him. I'm like, stop putting words in my mouth. Let me find the word. Let me get the word. Let me pull it up. And then recently something cracked. Something in my need for control of that, my need for perfection, my need to force myself to remember the thing, to struggle with myself, to fight with myself. And I actually asked him, and it just happened like last week or 2 weeks ago or something. I said, hey, buddy, you know what? I actually really appreciate that you try to help me with the words that I'm missing. So I wonder if you could be my interpreter. Because sometimes, you know how it goes. You don't say the word, but you can think of like 10 million other words that aren't actually the thing or that can describe the thing, but not the fucking word for the thing. So now we kind of have a game about it, is that I start saying all the words that are coming to mind and he tries to get the word for me. And it's completely changed. I mean, it was a huge arguing point in our relationship. Yeah. Any sort of issue that you're having with your throat, I would say try this mudra on. Ryan, are you seeing the bonfire here? So that's our big fire pit, and there are stumps around it to invite people to it. This is, well, I do a meditation where it's a fire gathering meditation where we come and meet at the fire in a meditation. And this is the fire that I actually invite people to. If you've ever been in that meditation, this is the fire that we're showing up to. Frankie, pulling out that mudra a lot. Good. Nat, is it normal to feel a bit dizzy after meditation? Yes. Yeah, it can be. Remember that meditation is a personal practice. The more you sit with it, the more it will resonate within you, and the more you will notice. When we first start sitting for meditation, it feels like a battle. It feels like we're doing it wrong. It feels like we're fighting for it, right? But when we just start making a regular practice of sitting down and quiet and just setting the intention of quieting our mind, that in and of itself is a powerful, powerful practice. What we were saying before, the most important pieces of meditation are your intention and your attention, right? Focus on those two pieces. I do not care how busy your brain is. I do not care how wiggly your body is. I do not care how distracting your world is. All I'm asking you to do is set an intention, and that intention can be as simple as listen to my breath or look at the colors in the room. You don't even have to close your eyes, and focus your attention on that intention. And when your mind monkeys pull you away, or when somebody distracts you, or when something happens where your attention's like, whoop, you remind yourself, come back, we're focusing on this. And in that way, you start to exercise the muscle that brings you to a place of inner silence, inner peace, that gives you more mindfulness. Literally, guys, we talk about quantum physics in regard to meditation, quantum mechanics, quantum psychology, quantum meditation, right? Quantum spirituality. Because when you regularly practice mindfulness, you increase your mindfulness, you increase your awareness in your day-to-day moments, because your mind is used to coming back to the present again and again and again. And if you get running off distracted and you go, oops, I was totally somewhere else. I'm supposed to be doing the dishes or talking to my friend here, and then I ended up, way the hell over there. Let me bring my attention back to the present moment. And what happens when you can do that? You change the quality of time. You change, good morning, Fran. You change the quality of your experience of time. Notice that when you're really in the flow of doing a project that you really love doing, and you're totally absorbed by the project and you're not paying attention to the present moment, you're paying attention entirely to the project. Time moves differently. When you're waiting for something that's really important that you can't wait for, you're so excited about it, all you're thinking about is the future. Time moves differently. Good morning, Bishop. So when you are in the present moment, and when you are acutely aware of what is happening in the present moment, your quality of time is different. Remember, time, right, is relative. Time is a relative force, not a static one. So if you're looking to, well, not even if you're looking to, because what happens when we do that is we afford ourselves the time and we afford ourselves the opportunity for responding to what's happening rather than reacting. So I talk sometimes about these two circles, right? When we are in the present moment, you've got this clear channel to the present moment, to what's going on. You're experiencing it in the moment as it's happening, right? Not and without any sort of attachment to anything else. But when something happens and we attach it to a past experience, we pull our consciousness away from the present moment. And when we think about what's going to happen next time this thing happens based on the past, right? Have you ever done that? You pull yourself in the present moment way into the past, and then you think about the future about it. And you're not even here now. You're literally living in another time. Your memory of what happened before and your guesses about what's going to happen next. When we do this, it creates a degree of surface tension. The conscious mind and our running around the conscious mind and imagining things and thinking through things and conceptualizing things and all these other things creates a kind of surface tension. And that surface tension holds down old emotions, holds pain in our body, holds memories in our hearts and in our minds. And the more we retrieve them, the more we attach to them and whatnot, right? And if my mind is way over here in like a week from today and something triggers me, I don't have time to respond to that. My body typically just reacts. My brain and my body typically just reacts because I'm smacked back into the present moment by that. I'm brought back right into the present moment. Oh shit! What's going on? But if we are in the present moment already and that trigger happens, the quality of it happening is different, right? The quality of time is different in the first place. And then we see it while it's happening, like slow motion almost. If you're so used to being in the past and in the present, and then you start living in the present moment, it is. In my experience, when I started really day to day finding the space in the present moment, things started slowing down. And I had somewhere I felt like I was so stressed and so didn't have enough time in any day. Yeah, I still feel like there's too many things to do in a day. But I can spend, my day can be such an experience. Whereas before it was, what happened to last week? Where was I? Oh, I was in the next day, and I was in the past, and I was in my difficulties. I was in arguments with myself, or imaginary arguments with other people. How many times do we do that? You're not even in the present moment. If you're sitting there arguing with some person that you're afraid to have an argument with, or that you're pissed off about whatever, you're not in the present moment. You're not experiencing the present moment. You're somewhere else with them. Creating an imaginary argument, too, on top of it. Creating imaginary discord within yourself. And sometimes we think we do this because, oh, I'm going to prepare myself for that discussion that's going to happen. Or, oh, I'm worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, so I'm planning, right? I'm being studious, or not studious, diligent, to make sure that all of my worries, all of my bases are covered by worrying about the future. It feels like something that's good for us to do. Like it's important for us to do almost. But the reality is we waste the same energy that it takes to worry about tomorrow can be used for daydreaming about tomorrow. If you want to spend your time in tomorrow, why not think about the good things that are going to happen tomorrow instead of worrying about all the bad things and essentially calling them to you anyway, right? The universe responds to what we are sending out. And so if I'm sitting here imagining all the bad things that can happen just to cover my bases, then that's what I'm talking to the universe about. If I'm sitting here thinking, oh yeah, the shitty thing might happen, sure, and these other great things could happen. Tomorrow, everything could change. Tomorrow, that thing that you've been waiting on your entire life could show up. You don't know. I don't know. Why not focus on that? You have a choice. We have a choice. And we are under this misconception that when we are awake, we are simply victims or puppets of our reality. We are co-creators. We are co-creators. And you can see that, by the way, let me pull that back a little bit. I invite you to experience that by practicing mindfulness in the moment. By finding ways to practice mindfulness. And remember, mindfulness is not deep 45-minute completely silent meditation, right? I've been there like only a handful of times in my life. And even in that full 45 minutes, there's no fucking way I was silent the entire time. No. Not there yet. But mindfulness can happen in the tiniest of moments. So if you guys been around for a while, you may have heard some of these, but I'll go through a couple of them too, right? Some of my favorite practices for bringing myself back into the present moment. 1, color. Simply stop what I'm doing, bring my brain to the present moment, and look around me and look for every color. I like to go the colors of the rainbow. Look for a red. There's a red. Orange. Shit, do I have any orange? Yes, there's some orange, right? And you suddenly bring yourself into the present moment because you look around and you're just looking for each of those colors. And further, you want to take it a little bit deeper. Thank you, Nikki. then really soak up those colors. Don't just notice them, but look at them. Look at the quality of them. Look at the texture of the thing that they are. Consider where it came from. Consider the weight of it and what it's for. Like, really put yourself into the present experience, the contemplation of your present experience. That's a really good one. Yeah, Kat, you use that with the kids? Yeah, that's a really good one for kids too, because it's really easy and playful, right? Another one that I really, really, really love that I've offered a couple of times here is just the 5 breaths, right? So you hold your hand out and you start at the base of your thumb where it connects to your wrist. You inhale up the side of your thumb to the tip, exhale down the inside. Inhale up the side of your pointer, exhale down the inside. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and then a long, slow exhale. That is one of my favorites because, again, you don't need any special tools. You don't need to even remember the names of a mudra or anything. All you got to remember is how to breathe, which hopefully you haven't forgot. Sometimes we do forget, but this one is really, hey, Teresha, how are you? Mimi, how are you? So this is one of my favorites. Again, it's just 5 breaths, inhaling each side of each finger, right? And take your time. And sometimes if you need another 5, do another 5. Let's see what else. So to expand upon the colors one, this is one that I do when I'm doing dishes, because when I'm doing dishes, it's apparently a trigger for my brain to consider every possible worst thing that could happen or that has happened. I don't know what it is about dishes, but dishes make my brain freak the fuck out. And I don't hate dishes. It's just the process of doing them allows my brain to wander off. So what I do instead is I use dishes as a meditation. Same with most of my cleaning projects I try to do that with. But not only do you look at the color of the dishes, right? You feel the warmth on your hands. You feel the viscosity of the soap. You smell the lemon scent or whatever, or the stink of the dishes, right? You feel the texture of the dishes. And every single dish you do, you bring all of your awareness and all of your attention into that particular practice. That's mindfulness, guys. You don't need to be a yogi. You don't need to know Sanskrit. You don't need the chants. You don't need the mudras. You don't need yoga. You don't need some spiritual guru outside of yourself. You do not need some deep, profound teachings. It is only about your intention and your attention. And your intention can be as simple as be here now. And when we're not used to that, be here now is like, what? What do you mean? I am here. Obviously, I'm fucking here. No, yeah, sure. Physically you are, but how often? How often are we elsewhere? And with these little screens too, how we're so pulled away. And we're so unaware of what's happening around us, right? How many times do you go out in public and if you're the one not on your phone, you look around and you go, fuck, nobody's watching shit. Nobody's paying attention to anything in the present moment. So absorbed in this Black Mirror, or in tomorrow, or in yesterday, or in your fears, right? Teresa, it's also fun to match your breath to your movements when you clean. Yeah. I like to dance with my broom when I clean. But I've been studying human development and wellness for over 20 years, studying and working in the field of human development and wellness for over 20 years. And I started studying psychology and therapy actually when I was a kid, because I was put into therapy. And for me, it blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute, there are like tools and tricks that I can use to like increase my ability to communicate and effectively and like say what I need and state my boundaries. Like, wait, there's tools for this. There's tricks for this. There's like a whole how the brain works and why. It's where I got on this path. But part of that was studying what happens when we give our attention away to media sources, basically, whether it be news or TV shows or video games or just somebody else's, thing on social media, right? Our energy bodies in the material plane are a finite source. It's the illusion of, right, being finite. And when we are using our energy in these ways for distraction, Nat, welcome. Have a great day. I'll see you soon, hopefully. Give us a follow. I'll see you. So we go live again. We go live Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings for Bhakti Bites. And then I have a tiny yoga class on Friday mornings as well. Yoga for everybody and every space, even if it's a tiny space, even if it's limited mobility. So come join us, 9 a.m. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Great. Wonderful. AA, interesting. Give to the poor guys, invite guests over. This will help you energetically. Yes, connecting to people is medicine for our soul, and so is connecting to ourselves. And we often put our energy outside of ourselves. We often give that energy to other people, to our guests, to hosting people, to taking care of their problems and their issues, right? Rather than taking care of ourselves. So a lot of what we talk about here in Bhakti Bites is self-care. Bhakti Bites are a little devotion to self-care, because to be a good host, to really hold space for other people, whether it's in our home or in our hearts or in our minds, we need to make sure that we have that space. And that we've cultivated that space by taking care of ourselves, by making that space within us. Yes, we are pack animals. We are not solitary creatures. We need each other to survive. It's part of our design as humans, right? We can be alone, plenty, but to survive, we need each other. Yes, AA, it's also become a manipulation tool. When I was a kid, I thought the paradox was so funny that people told me all the time it's how I had to take care of other people, how I was supposed to take care of other people, but then also told me that I was supposed to take care of myself. And I was like, well, where do you draw that boundary, right? As a kid, I was asking this question of where do you draw that boundary? Because I love taking care of other people. I love seeing people feel good because I did something to make them feel good, but that also feeds the ego. And when I lean too much into that, I ignore myself just to boost my ego because it makes me feel good that other people feel good. And, in the West, we're also sold this idea that that's where our value is in what we produce or what we give to others or what we do for others, not for what we do for ourselves. Well said. Solitude is soul nurturing. Isolation is soul crushing. 100%. Yes. Hey, Luke. I used to run a bed and breakfast up in Alaska, and we had a sign just inside the door that it was an old, I think it's an old biblical something reference, but it's basically the idea is that you treat everyone who comes into your home with the utmost courtesy and respect because you may be holding space for angels, right? I don't know if you guys have ever heard that one, but every guest is potentially an angel at your door. And it was perfect for the bed and breakfast because that's what we did. Anybody who came in, we treated as if they were potentially an angel at the door, right? What's the story from Beauty and the Beast, right? The old witch who's actually a beautiful young lady, right? That kind of stuff. And if you don't treat her with kindness and respect and you treat her with disgust and disrespect like an arrogant asshole, then she curses you and right? No, I didn't treat people well out of fear that they'd be actually a witch and curse me. No. But it was a time in my life where I saw how much my self-care was lacking. Maybe entertaining and angels unaware. Yes. How are you, my friend? Of course he did. Yes, I hear your point, AA, and I appreciate that you are encouraging us to love others. And that is like I said, it's a very a very undisputed fact, right? That we should take care of each other. And I know a lot of people who take care of others very well and do not take care of themselves very well. So, yes, of course, love others. Make sure you fill your cup, right? There's a saying that I really struggled with many years ago. I read this philosopher said, ultimately, every action should be a selfish one. And I was like, I dropped the book. I threw my book down. I was like, fuck no. What the shit? Are you serious? Every action should be selfish? That's a bunch of fucking baloney. It took me years to like twist that one around and get it into my brain and my body and my heart in a way that I went, oh. Every action should ultimately be a self-centered one. If I know that this is the choice that is the right choice for me, if I've made that discernment about whether or not a choice is for me, then I'm being self-centered in my decision making. And that choice could be to take care of somebody else, to give away what I have. The choice could be a very selfless one, but it has to come from a place of a genuine place. Knowing that that is the choice for me to make, not because somebody else told me I had to, not because somebody else told me it was the right thing to do, but because it was self-centered. Even if it's at my expense, right? There are still some choices we make at our expense to take care of and love others and take care of other people or do things that we don't really want to do. But we know that they're the right choice for us when we look at ourselves and we look at our choices from that kind of higher wisdom self place and go, okay, I do have to do this. I don't enjoy it. I don't like it, but this is the right choice. And in that way, every act should ultimately be a self-centered one. Because when we don't operate from that self-centered place, then we are making choices then we are not discerning what's for us and what's not for us. We're taking somebody else's opinion about what we should be doing. And honestly, when it boils down to it, you guys know that. When it boils down to it, you are your guru. Guru just means what leads you from darkness to light. That's it. And ultimately, yes, you can learn from teachers outside of you. Yes, you can read things and study things and gain knowledge, right? And understand things more deeply because of the influence of something outside of yourself. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, it is you who has to make that final choice. It is you who has to make that decision. Right? If you want to start getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and meditating, and you set your alarm and you ask your partner to help you get out of bed, right? You set these two things up to help you do it. If ultimately your alarm goes off and you turn it off and your partner pushes you out of bed and you still fall on the floor and stay there, ain't nobody getting you up for meditation. Hi Crow. That's you. When it comes down to it, the final decision always has to come from you. And that's why we say you are your own guru. Yes, you can learn from others. Yes, you can receive from others. Yes, you can develop deeper understandings through experiences outside of yourself. But ultimately, it depends on that. Those learnings, those understandings have to resonate within you, have to take root within you and grow within you because you are cultivating them, not because somebody else is cultivating them for you. Thank you, Christy. Sorry, I'm catching up on comments here, guys. I missed. Teresha, yes. So, yeah, we can't truly give to others what they honestly need if we can't give to ourselves what we need. And I would go even further and say often we can't give to others what they need. We can support them in finding it within themselves. But ultimately, I can't be the answer to you feeling unloved. I can love you with all my heart. I can do everything that you need, that you think you need, that we think you need, right? That it looks like you need from the outside. I can be the perfect partner. I can be the most loving person, most generous person, hit all of the right markers. And if you still don't know how to love yourself, if you still don't love yourself, if that's where the root of your feeling unloved is, there is nothing I can do for you. There is nothing I can do beyond that. And again, that's why we talk about self-care and self-love and taking care of yourself and focusing and being self-centered. Instead of spending our lives trying to cultivate other people's inner gardens. Come on, pirate ship. Sorry. My my characters up here, right, just laughed and said, nobody can rake that hoe. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Laugh. I'm making myself laugh. Yes, take care of your own garden. And we can come together and share gardening tips. Thank you, friend, for the roses. We can share gardening tips, right? And that's what I'm doing half the time here is being like, okay, so I had this swamp, right? I've been turning it into a garden and a temple. I have this meat suit that is actually my temple. And I have a beautiful garden around it. And it's taken me years to cultivate it. And there's things that have worked and things that don't. And laughter is really fucking good medicine, right, Joshua? Yeah, it is. But AA, if we do not cultivate that garden, we have nothing to share with the people that we love and we care about. We beg them to come and fix our garden for us when they literally can't reach it. Right? Hey, Todd, what's up? Alan Watts, are you impersonating Alan Watts, or is that your actual name? Did you get lucky and your parents named you Alan Watts? The 12,000-year Earth cycle is upon us. We are in the middle of the Kali Yuga Bhaktan. We are moving our way out of the Kali Yuga. We are in the middle of ascension, yeah. And people are fucking struggling right now, including myself, because the planet itself is raising its vibration. And we are adjusting our physical vibrations as well. Our energy bodies are adjusting to the Earth, as they always, because they're connected, because they're... Hi, Crow! So if you're feeling confusion, if shit seems to be falling apart for you unexpectedly and you're like, wow, this thing was going super, super well, and all of a sudden the rug just got pulled out from underneath me and the project is gone, or the income is gone, or the relationship is gone, or the job is gone, or the whatever it is, my house freaking, I don't know, these, the universe is not out to get you. The universe is not trying to hurt you. There is not some malicious sky daddy trying to bring you down or hurt you or punish you, okay? When we struggle, it is an indication that something's out of balance. There you go, Brian, exactly. Hey, Tapping Point. When something is out of balance, we struggle. When we resist the flow of life, thank you. When we resist the flow of life, we are swimming against the current. And I will say again, if you want to choose a life of struggle, there is something to learn in there. I've been there. Struggled for years on purpose. Because I felt justified in it, because I felt like it was what I deserved, because I felt like I was a victim of situation, of circumstances, of myself and of others. Hey, Tony. And then I just, when struggle or frustration shows up, it's an indication that something's out of balance, and that's it. That's it. When you're sitting in meditation and thoughts come up and pop up and you think, my brain is trying to distract me. No. Oftentimes, when we release that surface tension we were talking about earlier of the conscious mind, so you're sitting in meditation or mindfulness and that random thought comes up out of nowhere, it's not an attack. It's a release. It's a release. Remember that. When those thoughts, and not just in meditation, when you're doing your dishes, when you're talking to somebody else, when you're doing something, when you're sleeping, right? When you just wake up for no reason, these freaking obsessive thoughts or frustrating memories or painful things, when they come up, they are being expressed to be released, not as a personal attack. Your body is not against you. Your brain is not against you. When we align ourselves with the flow of life and the reality that is our body and our being and our energy body, right? When we come home to our temple and start to really take care of our temple, close our doors for a little bit and like clean house instead of letting people come in and throw ragers, right? Then those frustrations begin to fall away. And the relationships that weren't for you become very abundantly clear that they're not for you. When we start to discern, for me, not for me, for me, not for me, instead of engage in judgment and attachment and suffering and all that stuff, we relieve ourselves of that struggle. What?
Ajna's not over there anymore. I don't see him.
It's okay. It's not an emergency.
Okay, I thought it was.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask you something real quick?
Can you give me 5 minutes? 4 minutes. 4 minutes until Bhakti Bites is over. Is it always related to a relationship? That doesn't quite make sense in my case. What do you mean if something's not working for you in your life? We talk about discernment, right? We talk about discernment like this, and it's not just relationships. It's anything in your life, right? A job, a relationship, a house, a friend, a school, a whatever, either for foods, right? For you or not for you. That's all. It's not about judgment. It's not about judging whether the thing is bad or good for somebody else. Okay, here's the analogy. I don't go to your birthday party, open your gifts, put on that cute pink sweater that's not my fucking size and not my fucking color, and then parade around the room being like, look at this disgusting sweater. Oh my God, I can't believe anybody would have got me this sweater. It doesn't even fit. Because it's not for me. You don't go to somebody's birthday party, open their shit, put their shit on, and then bitch about it. But we do this with life. We do this with our jobs. We do this with our relationships. We do this with our living situations, with school, with our brains, with our bodies, with food. We do this with food. That food makes you feel like shit. That's somebody else's dinner. I'm in the shade, sorry. That's somebody else's dinner. But you're going and eating off their plate and then bitching that it makes you feel like shit. It's not for you. Hey, Sid, how are you? It's my favorite analogy because when we look at it like that, we go, oh, duh. And if you can look at different parts of your life like that, and just, again, it's not judgment. That pink sweater looks, that pink sweater looks fucking fantastic on you. It's totally your style, totally your size, fits you amazing. But if I open that box, put that sweater on, and go wandering off with it, I'm taking your gift. If I decide to date that person that's actually for you, but I think is a fucking asshole, and I'm reserving that person over here for me, and you can't have a relationship with them that you're meant to because you guys are more aligned with each other, do not drink my beet water. I'm taking that space. You're taking that space from somebody else. You're taking that gift from somebody else. And so one of the simplest things we can do, yes, it's self-love, but it's also love for the other, right? It's authenticity. To simply say, that's not for me. That's not for me either. That's not for me either. And when we're used to saying yes to something that's not for us, what does the universe do? It brings it to us. The universe says, you said yes to this last time. That shitty relationship, I thought you liked these shitty relationships. I thought you liked the pink sweater that didn't fit you properly. No, I don't like it. And we sit here and complain about the very gift we're asking for. Or the very gift we keep saying yes to. And so when we want to make big changes in our life, one of the simplest things we can start doing is discerning. Is it for me or not for me? For me or not for me? You know what? This relationship isn't for me. Doesn't mean that's a bad person. Doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It just means this isn't for me right now, and I'm going to let it go because I also love the other person and these other people who are going to connect with each other, and it's going to be beautiful. And it means I love myself enough to make space in my life for that other person to be standing here beside me. Because if I'm filling this spot with your boyfriend, putting him right here, none of us are benefiting. None of us are benefiting. Discernment is difficult when we're used to judgment. When we're used to saying, it's gross, it's bad, I don't like it, therefore it's shitty, and nobody should have it. How arrogant that I could know what is good or bad for anybody else. No, I only know what's good or bad for me. And I can even drop the good or bad and just say, not for me right now. Not for me right now. And it can even be a not for me, not yet. Not yet. I don't want that yet. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready for that amount of accountability. I'm not ready for that amount of responsibility. I'm not ready for that amount of exposure. If you're not ready, tell the universe you're not fucking ready. Not yet. Not yet. But know that the more times you say no, the more the universe is going to bring something else to you. So if there's something that you're waiting for, that you're wanting, and the universe is bringing it to your door and you're afraid to say yes, you feel it's for you, you know it's for you, but you're fucking terrified to open that door and say thank you, you might have to jump that hurdle. You might have to jump that hurdle to receive the thing that's for you. Adrian, I post the replays. I will be posting the replays to these on my YouTube channel. That's at Move With Change. So it's after 10 o'clock, guys. I am going to jump off here. Hello and goodbye. My name is Deborah. I am a reverend and a movement facilitator. If you would like to work directly with me, you can find me at Move With Change, or you can just send me a message here on TikTok. I do coaching, I do energy work, and meditation, private meditation, guided. I do, private yoga sessions as well, and a lot of other fun things. I do dream journey work with astral projection. If you're interested in exploring different parts of your unconscious intentionally in a meditation, it is a form of meditation / astral projection. If you'd like to do anything like that, that is something that I'm finally now offering. Remember about that for me or not for me? That one I've been holding on to for a long time because I've been afraid to offer it. But it's on the table. So anyway, I love you guys so much. We will be live again Thursday morning at 9 a.m. for another Bhakti Bites session. Don't forget your mudra. Hold on. Oh! I spilled my beet water. Okay. Mudra. Mudra for the week. This is the mudra for communication. It's going to increase your communication. It's going to release tension in the neck and the shoulder and the thoracic outlet area. It's going to increase your receptivity to communication. It's going to help soothe your throat if you've got a sore throat, if you've got sinus issues going on right now, anything like that, right? Okay, it also affects your thyroid too. It balances your thyroid. So it's called the Vishuda Mudra. It's the mudra for the throat chakra. Bring your hands back to back. Interlace your fingers. Doesn't matter which one's on top of which. Interlace your fingers and close your hands together. When you close your hands, bring your pointer and your thumb together on each hand to make some interlocking circles. Again, doesn't matter which one's on top. It's really just which one's better for your dexterity. If this is way too tight and you can't get in there, try pulling your fingers out a little bit, interlacing just the tips, and then interlocking those fingers here, okay? If still you can't quite get to it, again, the point is just to get as close as you can. We're redirecting the energy channels in the body, and this will do it as well, okay? And then we hold it here at our throat and just breathe. Just practice breathing with it. If you are using this in meditation, you can sit with this as long as you need to. There's no contraindication. If you are using it acutely in the moment, there's a situation where you need communication, where you can't communicate, or you're having trouble with it or whatnot, or you're having trouble hearing somebody else, you can also use the mudra in the moment. I love you guys so much. Have a fantastic day. Reach out to me if you need anything. Mwah!